What's going on, y'all? I just want to come to y'all real quick. I got to get some errands and stuff done and do some running around. But I had to have this story time. Most of my story times revolve around something got something to do with food. But we go to this place. It's called Panda something, and it is an awesome place because it is very hard, I don't know, for me to find some good lo mein. I love lo mein, and this place, they got some pretty good lo mein. They do a really good job. So we went there and we got there. It's a buffet. It's like a kind of like a gourmet kind of buffet type place. So it's pretty legit. And we go in there, and well, I go in there to check things out because it's late, it's the weekend, so I'm like, it's probably gonna be crazy busy. Let me see what they got and make sure everything is good. So I go in, and you know, when I walk in, you know, I ask the lady, I'm like, you know, hey, what's going on? You know, just trying to see, you know, how much is it for if I just want to get takeout. And so she told me, and so I walked in and said, well, can I look at everything before I, you know, decide to pay all this money for this buffet? And so she was like, yeah, go ahead. So I go in, and I'm looking at everything looking real good. I'm like, oh yeah, this is legit. This is about to happen. So I'm looking. I mean, they got fresh crab legs. You can't get those to go though, but those things are steaming. I mean, like everything fresh, y'all. I mean, this place is pretty legit. And so I go in, I look over it. Now, we all know that most like Asian places, man, for some reason they have legit chicken. And you know, I don't know why, but they do, and it's pretty good. So when I was walking through, you know, I'm looking, and it's this little girl. So she's over there, and she is getting her chicken on, you know. And I look up, and I'm like, man, that chicken looked real delicious. So I'm sitting there, and yeah, I feel so bad for the little girl, but it was either gonna be her or me, because I mean, it was piled up, it was extra crispy, it was looking real delicious and scrumdiddlyumptious, and it just was legit. So I mean, y'all, she went in head first. So y'all know how, you know, most buffets, they have the sneeze guard. So that way, you know, basically adults. So, you know, if you sneeze or you talking, and, you know, so that way you're not, you know, spitting all over the buffet. Most buffets are, you know, just like, I don't know. Some buffets, man, it'd be just overcrowded and just a hot mess. This one had a nice little crowd, so they had the sneeze guard up. And man, she saw that chicken, I saw that chicken. We both beelined for the chicken. I wanted to just look at it just to make sure that, you know, everybody would enjoy it. And she was going to go grab some, and man, yeah, when I tell y'all, she went straight in, and bam, I mean, she bust her head on the sneeze guard. Yeah, it's not funny, but it was, you know, I felt bad for her, but I was like, man, if it wasn't her, I probably would have did the same thing, because that chicken was extra crispy. It looked really, really good. And so man, she was determined, you know, so she shook it off, she rubbed her head, she looked around, make sure ain't nobody see her. And she went, and she was getting her chicken, boy. I mean, she was going in. It was so funny. I tried not to laugh, and she was smiling though. And you know, I looked at this guy, and you know, he looked at me, and I held it in. She walked off with like a huge plate of chicken, y'all. So she walked off rubbing her head, and she had one her plate, and she just kept on going. It was crazy. It was funny though. It was. I'm sorry, yeah, you know, I'm not perfect, you know, so I did laugh, you know, when I walked off. She wasn't around, and you know, it was crazy. But I walked around and finished looking at everything, and they had some legit stuff. They didn't have that much lo mein, and the lady walking around that was, you know, I guess checking to make sure, one of the cooks or whatever, you know, she didn't seem like she had a sense of urgency to replace it, and they were lacking in like their meats and stuff, so I really wasn't feeling it. So I didn't want to pay, I think it was like $16.99 for a to-go plate, and you can't take everything. You can't get the sushi. They make fresh handmade sushi. You can't take sushi. You can't take crab legs, and you can't take. There's a couple other items that you can't take. They'll check your box to make sure. So I felt like it wasn't worth it, and I didn't want to, you know, go in and do that. So we wound up going to the mall and just got the mall noodles. They say Asian noodles, not lo mein. So, but their noodles are pretty good, and it was all fresh because they had just made some, so we got some fresh. But yeah, you know, when y'all go, just my little quick tip for this: make sure y'all find out when y'all go to these buffets, if y'all see something that's like snow crab and it's just too good to be true, and y'all try to get to go, don't pay the money and then load up your box and then think that you gonna just get all this stuff for free because of ignorance. Ignorance don't get you that far. So don't go in there saying, oh, I didn't know I could get crab legs, can you just let it slide this one time? Crab legs not cheap. So, you know, don't try to get, you know, whatever you can because you just think you can. It don't work like that. So just watch out for that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you ask questions. Use some common sense when y'all going to these places and these buffets, especially, you know, when they got premium products. Everything ain't just free in life. And yeah, a lot of times we do get blessed, and, you know, blessings come on to us, but we got to use common sense too, y'all. Like, you're not going to just walk in and think you're going to get a whole box of handmade sushi for, what, $16.99, $17.99. Come on, y'all. Anyway, that's it. Check out the other stories. Leave a comment down below on your experience at a buffet or anything crazy y'all done seen. Definitely just check us out. Like, subscribe. Love y'all. Stay blessed. Bye.